Hey everyone, welcome to the start of week 4 in our Deep Fit series. We are going to be working on legs and core. I have a pair of 12 kilogram kettlebells and then a single 24 kilogram kettlebell that I'm going to be using for leg sets today. And then I also have a box that I'm going to be using for step ups and split squats. So if you don't have a box, don't worry about it. I'll give you something else to do. And you also don't need kettlebells. Dumbbells work just fine. I'm just going to give myself a different scenario, something a little bit different, throw the norm off. So go ahead and start with me on your mat, on your hands and knees, and we're going to go through our cat-cow. Get the back prepared for some heavier load, getting into the legs, but we need to have that back ready to go, the discs nice and supple. Hydrated movement seems to hydrate them, does hydrate them, especially depending on the time of day you generally work out. So for me, this is early morning. Get that movement, gear me up and ready to go. Breath work happening. One more here. And then let your hips shift left and right. So still getting that movement through the spine. Just a little bit more into the lumbar spine now. Lower back, that space. Remember that we have in our kinetic chain mobile joints and stable joints. So some joints are meant to be more stable and fixed and held, and others more mobile. So just in terms of torso and back, our hips are where the mobility lies. So go ahead and level off here, and we'll go into that. So kick your leg up and back, open it out wide, bring it forward to your armpit, and then drop it back down. So you want that full range of mobility and movement through the hip joint. But then what I want to do is keep my low back stable, right? So a lot of times we end up moving and shifting and contorting and tilting through the low back and the pelvis, and then that's what brings in pain and discomfort through that low back. So we got to utilize the core, strength of the glutes to get mobility through the hips and stability through the back. All right, let's go ahead and switch to that other side. Mobility through our left hip, using the core to try to keep that low back stable and steady. Pack into your upper back. Hold flexion there. Last one. Find your stability. It's not about pace. All right. Then we have our mobile hips, right? Stable low back. So we're going to keep that low back stable and work on flexibility and mobility through the thoracic spine, which is the mid back. So that's our thoracic rotations. Again, we want to keep that low back stable. Keep the belly strong and see if you can rotate your shoulders to stack. So right now our right shoulder stacking or pulling towards stack over the left by twisting through the mid back. One more here. So our upper back is also stable, right? So the mid back is where the rotation comes from, low back and the upper back stays stable. So through that kinetic chain, you have mobility, stability, mobility, stability. They kind of stack on top of each other. You're not going to have two stable joints stacked on top of one another. So it's really important to keep those mobile joints mobile. The hips can get tight. If we sit too much, our mid back gets tight. If we sit too much, we got to keep all that mobile and moving. All right. Shift up and back, downward facing dog. Drive those feet down toward the ground, your heels down toward the ground. Push your chest back toward your thighs. So eventually you want to have a nice long spread in your down dog. So we want to get that A shape, the diagonal in the arms and the back, and then again in the legs. Keep pedaling, just going back and forth. Drive your thumb and first finger into the ground. Pull the elbows back toward your toes, feeling your armpits hollow out. Grab tight through the core. Okay, let's level off, stabilize, just hold steady and still. Let your knees bend, push your chest back, feel the butt push even more up toward the ceiling, and then slowly drop your heels. All right, drop down onto your knees, come up into a seated position. We are going to start off with a 6-minute plank. That's our focused core for today. If you've never had the opportunity to hit up a 6-minute plank with me before, welcome, and it's going to be a ton of fun. So just take as many breaks as you need to along the way. If you don't plank, then you can do dead bugs and glute bridges. Find ways of activating and grabbing your core. All right, we're going to start off with 2 minutes in the front. Ready, set, and go. Elbows are down. Chest is forward. Tailbone tucks. Try really hard to get flexed in through the abdomen. This is not a shoulder exercise. For sure, we're using the arms and stability through the back. But we want to use that trunk and torso to hold the lift of the hips. This is a great opportunity to get connected to the breath, to scan the body, to be in the moment. So feel the crown of the head pull away from your neck and shoulders. Relax your forehead, relax your jaw. Maybe even make sure that the back of your head is pulled up in line with your upper back. Push into those elbows and then pull the elbows back toward your toes, building a little bit more flexion into the abdomen. See if you can find some flexion behind your armpits. Wrap the thighs. So tucking your tailbone, kind of lifting the hips, pulling the belly button in, and then tucking your tailbone under, flexing through the glutes will help get that flexion and lift through the abdomen. Enjoy the ability to flex into the core, feeling the heat of the abdomen. This is not about just holding yourself fixed in place on your forearms. It's really finding the trunk musculature. 4, 3, 2, turn to one side. So I'm turning to my left side. Lift up nice and high through the shoulders, through that lower arm. We want to pack into the upper back. Open through the hips. So make sure your butt's not poking back. Flex through the front of the belly. Still using the entire core for support, but we are really targeting the obliques. 3, 2, back to the middle. So we're going to hold our middle again for 30 seconds. After this, we're going back to the first side. So for me, that left side, find the flexion, find the work. You are flexed into the heat. 3, 2, turn back to that first side. Lift and hold. Should be a little bit more heat as we go back to the middle this time. So for me on my left side, just depends on which side you turn to, but that first side, keep your breath. 3, 2, back to the middle. Hold the middle. You've got it. See if you can tell whether or not your hips are even. It's quite interesting. A lot of times I notice That one hip will be a little higher than the other. Don't start sagging, but don't start poking. Keep those big flexions. 3 seconds and turn to your new side. For me, my right side, we have 2 total minutes left. Stack up. Pushing those hips. Finding the flexion where you want it. See if you can feel the hips stay stacked instead of rotating. 3, 2, back to your middle. Get your set. Hover your body forward. Try to hold still once you're in your plank position. We want to hold still, isometric flexions, bobbing around and moving back and forth. Actually helps release some of that muscular tension, and that is not what we're going for right now. Okay, turn. Second time, second side. Keep driving those hips up, up, up. I love hitting up this 6-minute cycle. Occasionally, you can see if you are holding on to your core health and strength. 3, 2, back to the middle. Last time, into the middle. Last 30 seconds. It should be doable, but tough. 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your child's pose. Stretch those arms forward. Let your hips sit back. Oh, nice job. Okay, now we get to go into our leg set. So we're going to just AMRAP the rest. Getting 10 reps of everything. Whew. We're going to start off with our 2 dumbbells or kettlebells. So for me, I'm going to use my 25s. If you don't have a box, remember you can switch it up. So if you don't have a box, I'm going to have you hit up a single leg deadlift instead of your step ups. All right, we're going to go for some focused work here. Nothing too quick, too fast. Strong and stable. You can hold low, or I'm going to rack at my elbows. Something a little different. Start with one leg on the box. We need that locked core, and then step in. Line the knee and toe. Ten. All right. I'm going to hold low for this side. Definitely changes the work. So next round, we'll remember to rack high on the left leg. For that upper back and core flexion makes a difference. 8. Feel that load. 10. All right. Now, I am going to lower my box. I was doing some research and watching some stuff over the weekend, and the recommendation for these split squats is that your back leg is actually a little lower. We really want very little weight on the box. If you don't have a box, I'm going to have you just lunge with your weight. You're going to lunge and then kick up. So just have that back leg lift, but different than your single leg deadlift, because you are getting a big hinge in that front leg and that front hip. All right, so very little support and weight on that back foot. Lining up that knee and toe. Strong core. Let your upper body hinge over the leg just a bit. And 10. Okay, other side. Whew. Bring the heat. Square off the hips, pulling your back hip forward, your front hip back. Oh. Focus the push through that heel. We want to get the glute. 8, 9, 10. Oh, nice job. All right, we're going to get those little guys out of the way and go for the big one. All right, we're going to hold up in the chest and be on our knees. We're going to get our quad crusher. So you're going to rack your weight nice and high and then hinge back with a strong core and plank position till you feel the quads, and then we're going to lean back up. So tuck your butt, straight, strong body. You may go very far, you may not go very far. Depends on how much flexion and support you can get in your glutes and core, and then how much load you can place into those quads. Feel the quads. 6, lock in through the belly. 7, so your upper back is leaning back without arching your low back. Last one. 10. Whew. Small but mighty. All right. Next, we're going to do itty bitty little pulse squats. Again, small but mighty. So these, we're going to be in a sumo stance, nice and wide. You're going to grab your bell low, sink deep, open the chest, and then you're just going to pulse here. Make sure you're not bouncing. Open the chest. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. 7, feel those inner thighs. Knees and toes line up. 9 and 10. Whew. All right. Now you're going to come in a little bit tighter. Toes just outside your hips. Go into your goblet hold. Sink nice and low. See if you can get your elbows to knees. Then open knees out. 6, 7, where's the core? 10. Yes, that's what we want. All right. We're going to go back to the top. See what we got timing wise. About 9 minutes left. So we're going to rack those bells up high. Left leg first. Single leg deadlift. If you don't have your box, していけないです。That deep grab, full flexion. When you wonder if you can get to the number, that's when you're in the right spot. All right, other side. Hold low. Five, be in control on that drop. Tall chest. Tighten and tug through that belly. 9 and 10. Ooh, shake your legs. All right. Take a second, whatever you need. We're going to go into our split squat, or you're going to do that lunge and lift off. All right. I'm going to put my left leg forward first. Remember, very little support and weight on that back leg. You shouldn't feel it in the knee. Make sure you're getting your hips far enough back. Ten. Oh. Other side. Square off those hips. We want to get that left hip forward, right hip back. If it's your right leg, that's forward. Nine, 10. Oh. Good work, good work. All right. Quads. Definitely feel that heavier load. As always, if you don't have access to the heavier weights and it slows you down, or you're a lot faster, keep your reps high. Get to this point where you need your breaks. Work a little faster. Take less breaks. Okay, lock the core. Tuck in through the butt. 2, 3, 4. 9. Oh, 10. Almost went back too far. Whew, all right. I'm going to go into a side angle so you can see where I'm ending up. Toes are wide, knees angle with the toes, shoulders back and down, butt goes back. Try to feel like you're sitting straight up over that bell. 5, 6. There's a gripping into the ground. Belly strong. 9, 10. Ooh. All right. Bring your legs a little more narrow. Goblet hold. Sink down. 10. Oh. All right. See where we're at. A minute and a half to go. All right. We'll grab those bells and do a few steps or your single leg deadlifts. Right leg first. Use the underside of the leg. 4, 5. All right, I'm going to switch other side. 1, 2. Oh, nice work. Good job, good job. All right, head to the ground on your back. Fantastic job. Whew. Set your feet mat width, and then both knees drop to the left. Put your left knee on or left foot on top of your right knee. So you're over, the bottom leg goes on top of the top leg. Put your arms out wide. Now here's the beauty of this stretch. Your upper back is stable and set and held in the ground. Your mid back gets that rotation, remember? Then your low back is twisting with the hips, with your mid back, and then you get that stretch into the hips. That's our mobile point. Okay, release back to the middle. Just make sure everything's set and lined up. Rotate knees to the right. Take your right foot and put it on top of your left knee. Oh. So good, so good. I would challenge you to go back through that weighted set sometime on your own time. Take your time. Roll the knees in. Go ahead and tuck your left knee in, extend the right leg long, but keep it flexed and hovered off the ground. Switch. Just a nice little hip stretch. Oh, you can feel whatever you need in the back. Okay, cross your right ankle over your left knee, and then we'll get into the glutes. Interlace your hands around that left thigh. So for a video to get through, I wanted to move pretty fast, but I also wanted to stay heavy. So if you're taking about 1 minute to 2 minutes between exercises, you could probably get 2 more sets out of that. Would be super good challenge. Switch to the other side. Relax into your stretch. Find your breath. All right, let's flip around for hip flexors, quads, and hamstrings. Take your left leg forward, tuck your back hip under, slide. Find your hip flexor. Find that hip flexor. Take your right arm up. Lean just a bit. Find your breath. Deep inhales. Full exhales. Okay, and then let's grab the quad. So you can either stay where you are or lunge forward a little more. Rotate your right hip forward. Lift the chest. Keep pushing your heel or your foot into the hand and push the fronts of your hips, the quad, forward. And release. Extend your left leg long. Oh, pull that left hip back. Right hip forward. Drop into that stretch. All right, and then let's switch it up. Right leg is forward, tuck the back hips under, open through the hip flexor. Slide forward, remember, find the hip flexor. That's what we're here for. Okay, and then we're going to get the quad. Grab behind. Tuck those hips. Ooh. This is also known as your couch stretch, so you can put your back foot up against a couch, and then it gives you a little more stability. Slide forward, feel that quad. All right, release, and then we'll get our hamstring on the right side. Pull those toes up, pull your right hip back, reach the chest over the leg. Please continue to check in. Let me know how things are going for you. Things are tough, not connecting, a struggle. You don't feel the progressive increases of strength and stamina. We need to definitely address that. So reach out to me. I'm here for you. I love to know what your journey is looking like and feeling like. I like to stay connected to you all. All right, lastly, let's hit up our yogi squat. Toes a little wider, heels on the ground. You can use a dumbbell or kettlebell or bar or pole to help keep your body from falling backwards. Maybe you need it, maybe you don't. All right, little longer session today. Thank you for sticking it out. I will see you again tomorrow. We're going to get our cardio on. Have a great day.